Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is Pat, also known as PatTheGamer, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the one game that a lot of Call of Duty players loved, and its popularity goes to show that. Not to mention, this is really something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, and the way I want to go about this is I want to break it down into little sections of basically how this game started and where it ended up at. And it's gonna be a whole rotation of everything I'm gonna talk about with this game, as far as the success with it launching, and then the DLCs, and then so on. But without further ado, we're gonna get straight into this. But if you are new to this channel and you do like these gaming commentary videos, that's primarily the focus on this channel. So if you do like that kind of content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to smack a like and comment if you have played Black Ops 2 before. Anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into this one. So this is going to be a pretty long one, I will say. Now, as we all know, Black Ops 2 was, like said, one of many people's favorite Call of Duty games of, I would say, the decade. If you guys didn't know, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was released back in 2012, specifically on November 12th of 2012. At the time being, it launched on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. And eventually, over time, it did launch with the Wii U. And specifically about 6 days later, this game eventually launched with the Wii U on November 18th. But regardless of that, this game really just took off like crazy. And also PAL regions November 30th. And I remember it was just like I came home from school that day and I installed that Black Ops 2 disc. It took a long goddamn time. It took, I remember, quite a few hours to install it. And may I say, I was so eager to play it. I remember I was excited for it. I even remember the router completely killing itself for a little while because it could not handle installing Black Ops 2. This whole game launched around that time, and a lot of people, like myself, really enjoyed this game. This game brought a lot of love to the community. Even games previous to Call of Duty have, but this was the kicker. This was what brought people together. Basically, people who love video games together. People who love specifically Call of Duty. Treyarch did a phenomenal job when launching this. However, there were very few server issues, but at the same time, the game launched and those server issues began to diminish, especially moving into later November. As we all know, Call of Duty has its 3 game modes, and now there's like 50 game modes, but basically Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was very simple. It launched with zombies, campaign, and multiplayer. Basically, as the game progressed, a lot of people started buying it. Even before the DLC came out, especially because it offered so much of a variety as before launch. If you were to have bought this game at the time being, which you can still buy these certain editions, I'm sure people are out there selling them. You can buy the Care Package Edition of Black Ops 2, which includes the drone that comes with it, and a couple other things that do come with that. I cannot remember. I know the Season Pass does come with that, along with zombies, or Nuketown zombies, I should say, comes with that. And besides those things, those minor things that do come with it, I believe you get some weapon camo as well. There was a Hardened Edition and the regular Standard Edition. At the time being, they didn't really have a digital edition for this game like they do with modern games now, or modern digital games now, I should say. This game was just on disc at the time being, and you could purchase it through all those other editions of the game. As you know, Black Ops 2 promoted itself during the launch with all the double XP and stuff, and the fact that you go to the store, Mountain Dew and Doritos was the thing. The game started really getting, especially towards Christmas, tons and tons and tons of people were buying this game left and right. And, you know, going into December, as the new DLC was coming out in January, specifically January, I believe the 31st. But yeah, I remember seeing trailers for the new DLC, and at the time being, I'm not gonna lie, because of Black Ops 2, a lot of YouTubers were becoming very popular, and this was the time being that YouTube and all these other websites were becoming very, very popular. And it was quite odd, especially with gaming specifically. Gaming was becoming one of the big things, especially with YouTube. Like I was saying, with all the new YouTubers and all these other people, it was starting to become very popular from this game. They were starting to release DLC for it as well. Around January 29th, 2013, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 released its first DLC called Revolution, which this included the map Die Rise, like I said, included the game mode called Turn, and include a couple other maps as well. And I did want to mention this eventually came out on PlayStation 3 and PC February 28, 2013. The multiplayer maps, I should say, that were included with this DLC were called Hydro, Downhill, Grind, and Mirage. And I believe I do have some gameplay in the background here, maybe not of one of these. I tried to get as much gameplay as I could for this video, but can't really get into some games because Black Ops 2 is really dead. And that's something I'll talk about eventually here in this video. But basically, as I remember during this time being when Revolution came out, there were still issues with the servers and everything. Basically, with this coming out, a lot of people, specifically with YouTube gaming, becoming very, very popular and invested in around whole YouTube. A lot of people didn't understand that, but YouTube, and they were trying to make over a gaming part of it. They were trying to promote the gaming a lot more at the time being on their website. So a lot of the trending on YouTube around 2012, especially before that, and even 2013, 2014, was gaming. With all this content coming out, it made tons of content for everybody to make content for this game. Like zombie creators made content. I mean, it was a very small community at the time being. I remember being sort of within that. I really wasn't like, I was a small little channel, just a test channel. Revelation wasn't a bad start at all, but for a lot of people it wasn't a great start, especially with Die Rise. Die Rise was a very tricky map, but quite a few people did really enjoy it. I've seen multiple. I remember seeing multiple creators on YouTube making zombie videos of Die Rise, even just funny like videos about Die Rise. It really was a creative map that Treyarch decided to develop. I gotta agree with a lot of people. It's not that great. And it's just some of the downfalls with it. It just really kind of lacked. But pretty much besides that, as we worked our way through DLC 1, I remember having the blast every day, like I said, after school, playing this goddamn game, playing Revolution, playing the map packs, playing the zombie map as well, having the blast. Turn really was a big letdown. Just didn't live up to the life of it. And we're just not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. So the second DLC of Black Ops 2 was called Uprising, and I remember this DLC being very hyped compared to the first DLC, and there were so many gameplays on this. I remember coming home from school, the first thing I seen when I went on YouTube was Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Uprising, and the trailer for this was incredible. Black Ops 2, the Uprising DLC, what they had with this was obviously your traditional 4 multiplayer maps, the zombie map, no additional zombie mode, but they did offer Mob of the Dead and Cell Block, which is Grief, on April 16th for Xbox 360, then a month later in May 16th for PlayStation 3 and PC. This DLC was pretty interesting with the multiplayer maps. They had Vertigo, Encore, Magma, and Studio. Obviously a very, very big fan favorite. A lot of people did enjoy Studio just as much as they enjoyed, I think it was a Launch. Zombies was just magnificent. Mob of the Dead, like a lot of people say, was one of everybody's favorites. Everybody's favorite zombie map. You just can't deny it. You can't deny that Mob of the Dead was definitely your favorite zombie map. If it isn't, then you sucked at zombies is all I gotta say. You clearly, you're just not good at zombies. That's all I gotta say. You're not good at zombies if you don't like Mob and Dead. Case closed. It was a good map. Like, the storyline and everything behind it was good. Compared to nowadays when they make zombies, it's just they throw out there like, bleh, they throw up. But back then it was good. Storyline, the characters, it was so good. Now they just fucking don't care. Basically, that was DLC 2, also known as Uprising. And around this time being, servers were really good. Sales were really booming for this game. I remember that. I remember seeing articles about Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the big uprising Call of Duty, or the big launch and success of Call of Duty becoming very, very popular around this time being. I remember a lot of things being very popular around this time as well. But mainly, gaming was becoming very popular. And so was Call of Duty. DLC 3, also known as Vengeance. This DLC was pretty... A few people had their heads shaken on this one, but I give this one a thumbs up. Quite a lot of people did enjoy this one, and I definitely enjoyed it as well. It was very, especially the zombies, was calm. It was good. And the maps that they had were pretty interesting as well. Cannot deny for multiplayer. I believe this was when they were starting to add in weapon camos, and these were these radioactive camos that you could use in multiplayer. Zombies not so much. Unfortunately, they add in eventually down the road in other Call of Duty games that are like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. But basically for Black Ops 2 they did not add in yet, but did good in sales. A lot of people were buying DLC 3. And Buried was just one of those maps, which, by the way, I should say. So, as far as like zombie maps, basically we have Buried, which is one of them, which included the Ray Gun Mark II, and people were very confused about this because they thought it was for like multiplayer, but it was for zombies, obviously, you silly goose. But pretty much the Ray Gun Mark II was insane, and a lot of people liked it. It was a great feature that they added into the zombie maps, along with the bank. And the bank was just a really cool feature as well. They add in with Die Rise, along with Transit, along with Buried. I think it's just a Buried. But basically, they added that in, and they added in a bunch of other things too, like very few things. Like Grief was added in the Buried as well. As soon as DLC 3 came out, Treyarch decided to add in a lot into the game, especially with multiplayer. Like I said, the camos, the radioactive, and the regular camos, they decided to add in. I don't know why, but it was a really cool feature, I can't lie. I definitely purchased quite a few of those camos, you know, saved up with those Microsoft points doing those rewards, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know about that, but if you actually go on the Microsoft, and this is still a thing nowadays, you can go on Microsoft, sign up for rewards, and you can claim rewards by completing surveys and other things. It's pretty cool. Anyways, moving into like the multiplayer maps for DLC 3, we have Cove, Uplink, Rush, and Detour. This DLC came a little later than the second one. They launched this DLC on July 2nd, 2013 for Xbox 360 and on PlayStation 3 and PC. They launched this in August, on August 1st specifically. I don't know why they waited so long on this one. They waited way too long. Moving into the final DLC, DLC 4. Around the time being, a lot of people were focused on other games like GTA 5. But pretty much myself, I remember I was still hooked on Apocalypse, which was the 4th DLC in Black Ops 2. This was a banger. Like, pretty much Apocalypse, the 4th DLC in Black Ops 2, was insane. In Apocalypse, there was a map called Origins, and this map was just insane. It was a really kind of like difficult map because it was very muddy, very kind of stiff. It was hard to move around in the dirt, but you know, majority of the play space was covered up by boards or covered up so that you could just walk around and not deal with the mud. Probably a lot of people didn't really care for this, like I said, because GTA 5 and other games are coming out at the time being. Not to mention, this DLC they released on August 27th for Xbox 360 and on PlayStation 3 and PC on September 26, 2013. This was when the DLC released for them, and I can't lie, some of these multiplayer maps were not really my favorite. Here are the multiplayer map names like Pod, Takeoff, Frost, and Dig were the maps. And that is pretty much ending off the entire game itself, because at this point they did not really add anything. They updated the game from time to time. They even update it nowadays. Just kind of goes to show you how popular this game really was. It really sparked the gaming community. It really sparked a lot of people, very creative people, to come out and make just wonderful things, like animators, people who do skits, people who do just anything, mainly just gamers in general, commentate, make news, information videos, got them to make funny moment videos, got them to make, a bunch of other stuff. This was literally around the time being when YouTube was at kind of its peak for the most part. And definitely this was kind of the reason for it, especially with gaming on YouTube. Gaming on YouTube really peaked around this time. A lot of footage that you've seen me show up on this video was recent footage, actually. None of this was from previous, apart from Mob of the Dead, because that was something that I had. It was my highest round on Mob of the Dead, okay? I'm not that insane to keep going. I kind of ended up just killing myself at that point. This was Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and how it launched, the success of it launching, how it started going into the DLCs, going into the middle of the game, and how it was still progressing, and then how it ended off with a couple DLCs and just hit with a bang. There really isn't much to say besides the game was a big success. And it definitely is hard to replicate this. You can't replicate something that has been perfectly done before. It's very hard to. I mean, it's been close to, but who knows? Will they ever come out with something like Black Ops 2 again? We will have to find out. Anyways, that is going to do it for this very long video. Let me know what you guys think. Are you still trying to play Black Ops 2? Let me know if you guys enjoyed Black Ops 2 at all. And if you guys could, make sure to smack a like for Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more uploads on this channel. Hope you guys did enjoy this very long video. Timestamps, links in the description down below. I will provide the information I found for some of this in the description as well down below. So guys, maybe you want to read a little bit on it and kind of memorize and just trip in nostalgia land like I have. I'll link some of the stuff down in the description down below. Anyways, I think I'm going to go play some Black Ops 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all at the next one.